Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the videos. I really appreciate all the support. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss today. So before we get into it, do me a big favor, hit the like button if you do end up enjoying the video or finding it informative. Really helps the videos a lot. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're diving into talks about the upcoming PlayStation Plus tiers, that being PlayStation Plus Extra and PlayStation Plus Premium. Sony has come out and given us release dates for specific regions and when they plan to roll this out. So this is going over to the PlayStation blog, where they say here they have an update to the all-new PlayStation Plus, and this is written up by Jim Ryan. And they say here, update, we're making fantastic progress with our launch efforts, and I wanted to update you on the latest. We are rolling out our new offering for PlayStation Plus a little earlier in select markets in Asia, followed by Japan. Here's a look at our updated regional rollout schedule. So in Asian markets, excluding Japan, they're targeting May 23rd, 2022. In Japan, they're targeting June 1st, 2022. In the Americas, they're targeting June 13th, 2022, and in Europe, they are targeting June 22nd, 2022. They go on to announce that they are expanding the cloud streaming access for many locations. They're opening it up to 30 markets, and I'll have that up on screen here so you can see what is being added. And they also say that the following markets will also offer the premium tier from PlayStation Plus at launch. And they conclude by saying, we've been working on this massive global effort to provide flexible options, quality games, and greater value for our members for quite some time now, and we're just a few weeks away from our first regional rollout. We want to thank our PlayStation community for the ongoing support, and we'll have more to share as we get closer to launch. And obviously, the big thing that everybody wants to know right now is what the lineup of PlayStation Plus Premium and PlayStation Plus Extra, what is this going to look like when it's finalized? That is something that, as they say here, they're going to let us know in the coming weeks. I have no doubt about that, and hopefully it does prove to be a solid lineup. But nonetheless, if you are looking forward to upgrading and you were wondering when exactly you can expect it, these are the dates that Sony is targeting for these specific regions. Now, it's worth noting that the dates could change. We have to understand that they're using the terminology targeting here. That does seem to imply that they may end up having to move some of these dates around, but hopefully that won't be the case. And what we're looking at here is when it will roll out. So let me know down below if you plan to subscribe to PlayStation Plus Extra or PlayStation Plus Premium, or if you just plan to pass on it and stick to the basic tier of PlayStation Plus or no PS Plus at all. Now, we're following this up with an interesting discovery here. Siphon Filter 1, 2, Dark Mirror, and Logan Shadow have all been rated for PS5 and PS4. This is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, where they say Siphon Filter PS5 and PS4 versions have been rated by the Game Rating and Administration Committee of Korea, indicating their inclusion in the upcoming PlayStation Plus Premium tier. All but two of the classics were not rated, namely Siphon Filter 3 and Siphon Filter The Omega Strain. Sony doesn't seem very keen on reviving the Siphon Filter series, so the aforementioned re-releases are probably the closest thing we'll get on the PS5 and PS4. Since these games have yet to be officially announced, it's unclear what enhancements, if any, they will come with and whether there will be trophy support or not. Nevertheless, PlayStation Plus Premium is a tier that will include a library of, quote, beloved classic games, end quote, so we're almost positive that's what the ratings pertain to. And that's why I wanted to cover this right after talking about the official release date of PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra, because that's exactly what this seems to be for. And at this point, a lot of people are feeling excited to an extent because they want to go back and maybe play these games. But I think the big question is whether or not they will offer any enhancements of any kind. It's going to be pretty rough if Sony comes out here and they offer these classics and they don't offer anything at all. I think if they were to incorporate trophies, that would be good. I think that a lot of PlayStation fans would go back and play these games just for the trophies alone. But ideally, for the games like this, and you would assume many other games that they're going to announce with this lineup, classic games, you want to hope that they're going to have some type of enhancements to some extent and have some type of trophy support. I think that if Sony was able to make this happen, it would incentivize a lot of PlayStation fans to consider, upgrading their membership and playing these games. If Sony decides to do nothing at all, I think it's going to be a tougher sell for sure. And I think that it's gonna disappoint, I think, quite a few PlayStation fans if they don't do anything to these classic games whatsoever. So let me know down in the comments below, do you think Sony is going to include any type of enhancements or trophies, or are you expecting them to do nothing? I'll be interested to see what you have to say. Moving on to the next topic, we're talking about Insomniac games and how they are just absolutely on fire still. We have here Insomniac building a world-class engineering team for a mystery multiplayer game, once again from PlayStation Lifestyle. A year after job advertisements outed the existence of an Insomniac multiplayer game, the studio has taken to Twitter to announce that it's seeking talent to build a world-class team to work on the project. Head of Technology Sean McCabe published a job description for a senior gameplay manager, and while it doesn't reveal much, the fresh advertisement as well as the recent reports suggest that Insomniac Games' multiplayer project is well underway. In September of 2021, known insider Special Nick Baker claimed that Insomniac is working on a multiplayer game based on a Marvel property exclusively for the PlayStation 5. This is reportedly a separate project from Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Wolverine. The job advertisements spotted in 2021 were for the roles of creative director, story lead, and a systems designer for the multiplayer game, and a couple of things stuck out. The story's lead position involves developing episodic and non-linear storylines and requires experience of crafting multiplayer narratives. The creative director role talked about brand extensions like movies, books, graphics, novels, web, DLC, and mobile games, and requires the position holder to ensure consistency across the brand's mythology and universe. Last but not least, the systems designer is tasked with combat navigation, progression, and economy, with an emphasis on melee combat systems, enemy design, and boss design. So with this multiplayer project, Insomniac currently has 3 games in development that we know of, which is pretty insane to think about. And I feel like even though we knew that they were working on a multiplayer game, some people may have forgotten about it. Maybe this is the first time people are learning about it, but it seems very likely that it is based in the Marvel universe. I think for some people, that may come off as a little bit disappointing because Insomniac at this point seems to be working on only Marvel titles, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, and then this multiplayer title is very much leaning towards another Marvel game. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are excited about that because the idea that Insomniac can take what they're doing with games like Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine and kind of bring that over into a multiplayer experience, I think a lot of people would be up for that and up to seeing what they would be able to do. There's no doubt that Insomniac has proven to be very, very talented, especially when it comes to creating games like this. So it's going to be fun, I think, to learn about this game. It is really difficult to gauge how far along in development this title is, but it does seem like it is progressing smoothly, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing it announced at Sony's next major event, which would be insane because people were already extremely surprised to see the announcement of Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine back-to-back right after Insomniac launches Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So it would be certainly impressive, more than impressive, if they were somehow able to announce yet another game. That would be awesome. It would be great to see people's reactions to that. But we are continuing to talk about Insomniac because we have our first update on Wolverine. So this is reading from Gaming Bolt, where they say, when Sony and Insomniac Games announced Marvel's Wolverine last year, it was abundantly clear that the game was several years away from coming out, primarily because all we saw for it was a brief cinematic teaser followed by a title screen. Shortly after its announcement, Insomniac confirmed that the game was in very early development at the time, but it seems that it's making some good progress behind the scenes. Motion capture recording for Marvel's Wolverine is about to begin at Insomniac, it would seem. Mike Yash, who's the lead animator on the superhero title, recently took to Twitter and shared an image of an empty motion capture set. There isn't much or any activity on the set in the picture, but in a brief accompanying caption, Yash says it will not be like this for long, suggesting work on the game will soon be underway. Given how early in development Marvel's Wolverine currently is, it's not surprising that not much is known about the game, though Insomniac has dropped some interesting tidbits here and there nonetheless. Creative director Brian Horton, who also directed Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, has said that the game is going to have a mature tone. It's also been confirmed that Walt D. Williams, the writer of Spec Ops: The Line, is the story lead on Marvel's Wolverine. And I was really excited to share this with you guys because to me, this is a really good sign. This means that development is progressing smoothly. They have a lot of this game mapped out already. They know pretty much everything about the story. They know which direction they're going in. And at this point, it's just a matter of, getting the work done and doing what they need to do to essentially create the game. And I think that at this point, it seems to me Sony is trying to get Spider-Man 2 out in 2023. And then right after, they want to follow it up with Wolverine out in 2024. And even though that's still a while from now, I think that, again, it's nice to know that development is progressing this smoothly and we don't necessarily have to wait until 2025 or possibly even 2026. It's clear that they are doing a great job over there at Insomniac, and I'm not surprised. They have proven that they really know how to develop games in a very timely manner and very efficiently. So yeah, even though this is a small update on Wolverine, it's not one that I was expecting to get, and this is one of my most anticipated games, possibly my most anticipated game from Sony, just because I loved what Insomniac did with Spider-Man, and I'm excited for Spider-Man 2, but Wolverine's one of my favorite characters of all time, so, I mean, it's like one of those dream come true type of games for me, so I'll be sure to keep you guys updated with anything else we hear about Wolverine, but that's going to do it for the video. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.